Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. I'm kind of back. I'll get into that in a second. But how have you been, sir? Right off the
Good.
top.
It's been good. It's been busy. They've been moving around
Yes.
TV shows. They've been putting Dynamite on different days. It's been a whole thing, but it's been good.
Yeah, same here. And like I said, I'll get into my absence here. I have very bad knees. My right knee has already been. I got scoped about 8 years ago, and it looked like the left knee now is gone. Many years of skateboarding and snowboarding and hockey, and all not stretching and taking care of yourself. So, you should definitely listen to your coaches and parents when they tell you that, hey, you should probably stretch. No.
So when you watch like Darby Allin or like fall on his back,
Oh,
or Mercedes do that double knee thing, does that like trigger you?
Yes. Especially with like anything with the back first and foremost, because if you don't know, I broke my back in 2007. So when I see guys and girls do the power bomb onto the corner of the apron, that's no bueno. It makes me.
I watched like
cringe.
a supercut. I think it was on Instagram or TikTok or something. Like just like a cut of Darby Allin's like craziest stuff. and like it was just like bump after bump after like in a row, right? There was no space in between them. It was just he'd been falling on stuff. I forgot he took power bombs on the edge of the steps.
Yeah.
And like how is he like I honestly not kidding, like how is he okay?
Yeah. I mean, not that I ever took any sort of fall like to that degree, but I took some like gnarly slam skating and snowboarding. In the moment, I shouldn't say you don't feel anything. You do feel things, but the time I broke my ankle pretty severely, and I continued to skate for the day because I didn't want to go home. And like I walked on it. Yeah, it was swollen and it hurt, but I don't know, like it didn't hurt then,
right?
I guess. So, and again, you're in front of 8 to 10,000 people screaming your name. Like, I'm just in front of 5 other dudes that were my friends, and it didn't, the adrenaline was kicking in that much. So I could see him like living off that aspect of it, but I mean, it's going to catch up to you.
And it's weird because sometimes it's the small things. Like both Matt Hardy and Hulk Hogan, when he was still, talked about how they did leg drops. Like Hogan did his regular leg drop, and Matt Hardy would do one like off the second rope.
Mm-hmm.
And like a leg drop doesn't seem like a spectacular move, but like landing on your hip that often for 20 years.
Yeah,
like Hogan had like a ton of surgery. Like I think he like lost like 5 inches in height or something from all this. And like Matt Hardy said, he just can't do it anymore. He just can't do a leg drop anymore because it just like it messed up. So it's not always like the falling 10 feet through the table. Sometimes it's just like the repetitive continuously landing. I do worry about like Mercedes, how she always does the double knee. It looks really cool.
Yes, but
like she's landing on her knees and like she's like 29 or 30 or however old she is, but what's that going to be like when she's 50?
Like exactly. And again, I understand, we always talk about like sports science, and they have like high end
trainers and everything. Like they have way more than we ever have,
but still, you're still doing that. Like, I mean, she's not on the road 900 days of the year like they used to be, but I mean, she's still doing that many times a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like imagine jumping off like the ring post is what, like shoulder high. Imagine jumping off, something shoulder high, 4 foot, 5 foot off the ground, and landing on a 1-inch mat on your knees.
Yeah, and I mean we've seen that there's been times when they've showed like when they rip off the ring, we see what the ring looks like. It's just like a tiny little mat.
Yeah,
it's not even like the mat you'd have in gym class. It's like thinner than that.
Yeah,
and then just like wood.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is triggering and like cringeworthy, and also like from experience, like I was doing nothing even remotely close to as dangerous as the things that these men and women do, and I cracked 3 vertebrae in my back. Like excuse me, two vertebrae in my back. And like they're doing things that can break bones any second. You know what I mean? Like,
I am like, I feel that way with a lot of pro sports. Like I feel that way. We watch hockey a lot. I feel that
true.
way with hockey too. Like, how are people not getting seriously injured all the
Hmm.
time?
Yeah.
You would think that like at this, if you've ever gone to a hockey, like you have, but like for other
Yeah.
people listening, if you've ever gone to like an NHL hockey game live, the speed and the force in which they're like slamming into each other
Yeah.
is insane, and how are wrestlers not getting hurt like every day?
Hmm. Yeah. Well,
It's like,
it's cliche, but going back to hockey, like literally, as the announcer says, you have to have your head on a swivel. Like, if you don't, you're gonna get run over.
right.
Like, you have to be very aware of your surroundings. With let's see, where there's 10, so 9 other people.
Yeah.
Like at least wrestling is one on one.
Right.
Like, yeah, the athletes are in such peak physical condition, and the training regiments and the diets even are so
Yeah.
absurd these days that
Yeah, this isn't the 80s where they like, smoke a pack of cigarettes and then go play a game.
right, right. I mean, you have guys in the NHL like Ovechkin and Crosby are 40 and what since
Yeah.
30, 38, 39, like
Yeah.
s- and not playing like, oh, that guy's 40. It's his ninth team in 8 years,
Right.
like no, like they're still putting up competitive numbers, like top 10, 15 numbers in the league.
I
Like
mean,
that's
and you look at
absurd.
that with wrestling now, like people who I can't
Yes.
think of some examples, but when you look at
Well,
like
Penny,
Adam Copeland, he's as
Copeland,
old as like
me.
he's as old as like when Hogan came back to WWE after
Yeah.
WCW, and he was like considered like an old man
Yeah.
at that point, or Flair was like an old man, and now there's like wrestlers who are they're just fine, like they need longer breaks. Like Copeland has said, like
Yeah.
he can't do it every night anymore, but then they don't seem old. Whereas in the 80s, if there was wrestlers who were in their 40s, they seemed old.
Right. Well, spoiler alert, they didn't need to be doing it 370 days a year.
Yeah, it's one company doesn't need to run 4 simultaneous house shows
Right.
at all
On a
times.
on a Saturday
Yeah.
in Illinois.
Yeah.
Like,
And like, yeah, tiny, tiny little towns in front of like 200 people.
yeah,
Yeah.
that didn't need to be happening. Um, but, so excuse me, I'm stumbling on my words here. Um, that being said, I wrote a little piece on I noticed a little formula that AEW has,
Yeah.
and
I like it. Go for it.
yeah, they've kind of been sticking to this. Me and you have talked about it offline several times. They've actually have been doing this since Sting and Darby, pretty much, and that is pairing a young person with a not necessarily a veteran or an old person, but someone with a little more experience.
Yeah. It's not always an older person. It's just like someone who's been on TV wrestling
Yeah.
for
So
longer.
if you'll humor me here, I wrote it out,
For sure.
and because I don't want to miss any points that I made here. So uh just a little callback. This goes back to right after they celebrated the 6-year anniversary. So sorry, thought someone rang the doorbell. Says AEW just celebrated its 6th birthday. And after 6 years of watching the company grow, you start to notice some clear patterns in how they on how they build their stars and develop their talent. From day one, AEW has focused on pairing rookies with veterans, giving young wrestlers the chance to learn directly from experienced pros instead of just training in the gym. It's a smart way to learn on the job, and it helps teach not only how to wrestle, but how to live the life of a professional wrestler on the road. You can see this formula in a lot of AEW's pairings over the years. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, Athena and Billy Starks, even Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, just to name a few. Each of these duos has shown how they match a rookie and how much that rookie can grow by the guidance they are given. For those who aren't directly paired with a veteran, AEW has another strong system in place. They're either assigned a coach or sent to Ring of Honor, which AEW now uses as its kind of a developmental territory, but I don't know. That's the best word we have for it these days. So we'll call it developmental. Ring of Honor has become a perfect spot for a mid carder to grow into a main event player and for rookies to learn how to wrestle on TV while still getting hands on coaching and TV experience. Some of the well known coaches in Ring of Honor are Chuck Taylor, Jerry Lynn, Brian Danielson, and Dean Malenko. They have been shaping the next generation of talent to come through the AEW ranks. The guidance has already paid off with acts like The Swirl, that's Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, getting legit TV time on Dynamite and Collision so far this year. There's also a flip side to AEW's approach, the way that they handle established names who come from the other company. Instead of easing them in, AEW immediately gives these stars big time programs to show both their fans and their former employer that letting them go was a mistake. For example, Ricochet was paired with Will Ospreay right off the bat. Adam Copeland jumped straight into a feud with Christian and FTR. And now we see Andrade returning, and seems to be going toe to toe with Kenny Omega. Both strategies in growing the rookies through mentorship and giving established stars the spotlight right away are paying off, in my opinion. Together, they're shaping AEW's identity and helping the company continue to make waves in the wrestling world. It's clear now that AEW's formula isn't just about signing talent, it's about developing and making names that last. Thank you.
Makes a lot of sense. I have a question for you now that you were just going through that, and something I
Yes.
just thought of like while you were talking.
Yes. Let's hear it.
They do seem to have a really good strategy for very young talent, or new, not young in the sense of age young, but young in the sense of TV wrestling young. Like you haven't been on TV, on television wrestling. And older talent, obviously, you're right. They do put you in a feud kind of when you show up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
One part where I think they might have a problem, and I just said, I just thought of that, so I'm workshopping this as we go.
Okay.
Is like the middle range of people, right? The guys who aren't main event yet, but who have been in TV wrestling for a while. And
Okay.
do you think that that's why? I mean, Ricky Starks is a specific example because he's friends with Cody, but
Right.
people like Ricky Starks would be more likely to leave because they see that there's a focus on brand new young talent, and he's not one of them, and
True.
he's not established main event talent. He's like a middle guy, and are they leaving a gap there for people who are like, oh, if I'm not brand new or established, there's not really a path for me, so I'm going to go somewhere else. Is that a risk?
I'll say we'll make this 50-50 problem. Yes, I agree with that. But there's always a plan. And I'm going to take the Ethan Page formula here. Ethan Page
he's probably a better example than Ricky Starks because Ricky Starks was clearly close with Cody, but Ethan Page was different. Yeah.
Ethan Page was supposed to be Kyle Fletcher right now. Start at Ring of Honor. He was going to win the Ring of Honor TV title, then the TV title, and all this. And I understand when you're a pro at sports, you have to have an ego. Ethan said that wasn't for him. He felt that was a step backwards. He didn't see the he didn't see the light.
It's almost like he was all ego.
Yes, there you go. And like he didn't see the full plan, so he left. And now he's stuck in NXT, which I think is exactly what Ring of Honor is, and doing exactly what he'd be doing, except
I do feel like he's in a very similar spot. And
Kyle Fletcher's now, like we talked about, Kyle Fletcher's a superstar in the making. I'm not saying Ethan Page would have been on the same trajectory because
I think Kyle Fletcher is unique in the sense that he's really good. I mean, Ethan Page is good, but he's not Kyle Fletcher,
right? But my like I said, the other side of that coin is Tony saw something in Ethan that just needed a little more work.
Yeah,
and Ethan chose a different path. So, but again, I understand you have to have an ego in a sport that is all about yourself. Like there's a team as in the team, but you are you are it. So
like we've talked before about like Mariah May, who, I mean,
Yeah,
she seems to be doing okay in NXT, but like I think she'd be doing better in AEW.
agreed.
But I can see where she was coming from. That like that was the hottest she was ever going to be, and
Yeah,
she was on a huge run. She made a name for herself, and like yeah, take the risk at that point. Like I don't blame her. Even if she got like the rumor is she got paid less. Like if you got paid less, like take the risk anyway because you don't want to be 50 and be like oh man
and
I
say
never
what it
tried.
should have done that. Yeah,
Right? Yeah. So
yeah. I see. Yeah. Again, so yeah, I guess I 50% agree with you and 50%. I don't want to say disagree, but I agree that there's more to the problem than that. So
and also wrestling currently seems to have just a lot of talent. Like there's a lot of really good
yeah,
people
yeah,
in wrestling overall right now. And like the reality is there's only so many spots. Like you can't
exactly.
have a TV show every single day. And if you did, it would hurt your product, I think, more than help it. If AEW was on 7 days a week, like I think
Yeah.
that would hurt them more than it would give them options.
Well, that I mean, we could sit here and argue all day. Like that's what WWE did in the like 2010s when they
Right.
everything was 3+ hours long at that point. SmackDown became 3 hours,
Yeah,
and
there
there
was
was
like two pay-per-views a month sometimes.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it was a lot.
yeah. Like no, like you have to leave people wanting a little bit more. Um, and that's why I mean, of course, again, it makes perfect sense, and it shouldn't take until the year 2025 to come up with this, but giving people time off makes
Right.
sense too,
Yeah.
because it lets you miss them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
And the
like
reality is like people are going like we've said this a million times. Like
mhm,
there's a lot of people who through no fault of their own, just when they were born are like, 25 years old and or 30 years old.
yeah,
And they've never known a world of multiple
right,
companies. Right.
right. That's
There's been
absurd.
TNA, but TNA has never been really at the
Right.
level of WWE. Um, they've never been in a world where like people just leave. People will leave. And that just
Mhm,
happens. Like
mhm.
it's gonna happen both directions. It's gonna happen
Yeah,
and it could be not that you hate AEW, you think it sucks, or not that you hate WWE or you think it sucks. It could be that you're, a singles wrestler who has a particular gimmick, and there's five other guys who have that same gimmick or same
right.
kind of trajectory in WWE at the time. So you're like, I'm going to go to AEW and see if that works for me, or the opposite. And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the company. It just means like it's like if you're like we talk about hockey, if you're a center and
Mhm.
you're not going to go to a team that has six other centers
Right.
because you're not going to get to play. So you're going to go somewhere else that needs that position. And it's the same in wrestling. If you look at it that way, like someone leaving and necessarily going, "Oh, I hate that company," and
Oh, yeah.
they just didn't have a role at that certain time. And maybe they go to the other company for 5 years and then come back, and now there is a role, right? Like
Also
people,
true,
there
also
was
true.
this weird thing on the internet when Andrade came back of people being like, "Oh, he's gone back and forth so much, he can't keep a job anywhere." But like, they keep hiring him, right? If you're
Yeah, right. True.
if you're good enough that you leave one company and the other company immediately hires you, and it's happened a couple times now, so like
Yeah.
it's so clearly he's good. He's just maybe he doesn't fit in or it wasn't working for him or whatever. But if he left AEW and got hired by WWE immediately, which happened, and then
Mhm.
left WWE and got hired by AEW again immediately.
Yeah.
So he clearly is talented and he's taking advantage of the situation that he's going to try both of them. And I don't see why that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree, and as you said, people not knowing the 2 company system, like, for once, there's room for that to happen, like,
Right.
you know, just just 7 years ago, if
Yeah.
you got released, you were done.
Yeah.
Well,
Like there
not
was like
done, but,
there
like, you had to
was
work harder.
There was TNA, but TNA outside of
Yeah,
maybe the first those first couple of years when they had that Spike TV deal, they were kind of like they signed Christian and
yeah,
Kurt Angle and like Sting. So they were doing pretty well. But outside of those few years, maybe 2 or 3 years, TNA was never on the level of WWE in the sense of
no,
they had
no,
a huge TV deal and they couldn't pay what the other company was they couldn't pay what WWE was paying.
right,
So like, yeah, it's all. I mean, we touched this on this a bit last week, and we've touched on it a lot. Like 6 years of AEW means 6 years of there being
mhm,
another option
yeah,
and another place for people to work. And as much as we can make fun of WWE or WWE can make fun of AEW. Like if one of them was gone, that's worse for everybody who
A
wrestles.
100%, yeah, like, I mean, I don't watch the WWE product, but I don't want it to go anywhere.
Right.
It's not for me personally, but, drama movies aren't for me personally either, so that doesn't mean they shouldn't
Yeah,
exist.
it's not like you're like, I don't like horror movies, so they should never make one. Like, no,
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
other people do. Like,
yeah, I don't know. The tribalism needs to stop,
and
and
there's one thing to like take little shots at each other. I think that's
ex
fine.
that
Right.
that's like well, we're Penguins fans. That's like talking to a Flyers fan and be like,
Right.
"Oh, Philly stinks." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fun. And to say like, "Oh yeah, WWE's dumb, it's stupid." Like,
Right.
that's fun. But if you just go and make it your point, like, okay, I'm gonna log onto the internet and for the next 3 hours talk about Tony Khan and how stupid he is. Like,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't need to happen.
The dumbest thing though is that it worked. Like there's like, the Bubba Rays and the Booker T's who just come out and are just like, Eric Bischoff. Everything AEW does is awful, and
100%.
and it works. Like people listen to them because there is an audience for that. I mean,
And
just recently, like when Booker T was just like, "Oh, Jade is just fresh off her AEW run. That's why she's not that good in the ring." I'm like, she was in AEW like 2.5 years ago.
yeah, it's like her
Like,
contract's almost up.
yeah,
Uh, and again, that just shows again, I'm gonna take the higher road here. That just proves that those guys are all working. Like they
oh
know
for
what's
sure,
gonna make one side happy and one side mad, and it's gonna get them clicks. But
right.
also, no offense, but whoever's paying them the most amount of money, they're gonna have the best words for.
Oh
I'm
for sure.
sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
Eric Bischoff was all in on AEW
exactly.
when they had him on Dynamite, and
Yes.
then now that he's back on NXT or whatever he was, now he's all in on them.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's just like we'll go full circle moment here. Whenever a guy gets traded from one hockey team to the other, like he immediately puts on the Penguins hat and the sweatshirt and all the things that he didn't own before that because he's
yeah,
all in on the new
and
team.
they're like the best fans in the world, and I can't believe I
Yeah,
want to get to play here.
yeah, and it's wonderful. Have you seen all the bridges in this place? Like, yeah, like it's it,
I
it
mean,
just
Andrade recently had a good quote on it. He said it's translated from I believe it's
mhm,
probably a Spanish interview, but I've left most companies on good terms. I also left WWE as well. I always tell other wrestlers, don't speak badly about companies. The companies will always remain, but wrestlers get injured, we pass away, and wrestling continues. That's the advice I give. Don't badmouth promotions. When I was younger, I sometimes spoke out, but I've always respected every company, and I'm grateful to the companies. So I know sometimes there are bad situations and mistreatment and all of that, but at the end of the day, we are where we are because of the companies, the fans, and the effort we put in. So, like, yeah, if you come
yeah,
out and you go AEW's awful and I hate them and they're terrible, and then you get a job for WWE and they fire you, then what do you do?
yeah,
Right? Like,
exactly.
unless you're one of the top guys, like if unless you're CM
Well,
Punk, who
I was
comes
gonna
out and
say,
spends 10 years bashing WWE and then immediately goes back, like they will
and
take you because you're a huge star.
and don't forget he sued them and won for $1 million.
Right.
So yeah, he sued them, made them pay him, and then got a contract and came back after 10
Yeah.
years.
He's a unique, like
Yeah,
John Cena or whatever could do whatever they wanted. Right. But
same.
like,
Hogan had the carte blanche with that. Like, yeah, there's certain
yeah.
guys that, and I'd even go a step further. They could pretty much do anything besides burn the headquarters down and get it and get their
Yeah.
job back.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
outside of those guys, I mean, it's a good point
yeah, it
that
is.
you you should. I get speaking out if you had a particular issue with a particular person, or if you were upset about how you were
Absolutely.
booked, or whoever. Sure, I'm not saying everyone has to be quiet and never say anything. And I'm not saying I'm not going to read it when MVP, tells off Triple H because that's hilarious, and I will always
Always.
read
I will always
it.
read it and I will always laugh.
Yeah,
So yeah.
but it is a good point. So
Yeah. Well, it's there was a quote with um from Dusty Rhodes on one of the early WWE network shows. It was Legends Roundtable or something like that, Roundtable with Legends or something.
yeah,
And they were asking him about the polka dots and why he went and he did that. And uh and he was like, "Oh, that wasn't me, that was Vince." And he was like, and I think it was JR was like, "Well, why the hell did you do that?" And he was like, because I had a contract that was paying me all the way to the bank. He's like,
Right.
I would have wore a hula hoop and a yeah, a tutu or something, you know?
Right.
He was like, I didn't care that I had black trunks with polka dots on. I was making a few $100,000 a year. Like,
Right.
uh, and I mean,
And there's
he
always
could,
a line to walk there, right? Like you can't do anything they say, but
right.
yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's Dusty Rhodes too. So if he would have showed up in a tutu wearing a hula hoop too, he's Dusty Rhodes. People would
he'd
have been
make
like,
it work.
"Oh,
Yeah.
yeah." And it's I don't know. It's you're right. It can only be certain people, but then look at Tony Storm took a leap of faith,
Yeah.
and now this character, it literally is timeless.
I think
You know,
that's the biggest thing about there being AEW is that these people wouldn't have this
true.
position. Someone like
Yeah,
Tony Storm or Swerve wouldn't
yeah,
have that spot if there was, and that's not even saying that WWE was, doing badly with them, which they were. But even if they
eh,
weren't,
right, right.
there's only so many spots.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Like you
Swerve
got
wouldn't be a world champion in WWE, not necessarily because he's not good or because WWE did something wrong, but because there's other people in WWE, right?
yeah,
Who, if Roman Reigns is going to have a 3-year title reign, too bad, everyone else, right? Like
yeah,
you're just not going to have one.
yeah.
So yeah, that's the main thing that I think comes out of 6 years of AEW is that. And the only other thing I wanted to say
Mhm.
on that is when you were talking about how they treat legends, like you don't watch WWE, but if you've seen or read about Cena's last year in
Oh,
WWE,
you've let me know enough.
and like he's by far their biggest star of the last 20 years,
Absolutely.
right? Like post Rock and Austin, he's by far their biggest name.
Oh, yeah,
He's one of the wrestlers that people who don't watch wrestling know.
no, that's what I was just gonna say. He's the person that oh, you mean like John Cena? Yeah.
Yeah, and you compare that to like how Sting had his last year, and Sting wasn't even really like Sting was a big part of AEW, but Sting didn't get famous off of AEW. Sting got
Right,
famous in a company that no longer exists.
right.
Tony Khan doesn't owe him anything, right? I could see if you've been there in WWE for 30, 20 years and you've helped build that company, they owe
Yeah,
you something, right? Sort of. But
yeah,
Sting, like they owed Sting nothing, really.
yeah,
Like they didn't owe him anything because he's a nice guy and he's a big name, but he didn't. It's not like he sacrificed for years for them, even
right,
though he worked hard, he did his job. But it was like 3 years, right? So
right.
that was just respect for him as a
As a
wrestler.
yeah, and a person and yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Whereas like Cena's last year, like there was the ridiculous the heel turn from Cena should have been the biggest thing that's happened in wrestling in the last 30 years.
And it should have been in like 2018.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Like remember when Hogan turned heel? That was like a huge deal,
Yes.
right? Even when Austin turned heel, and even though the heel turn didn't go that well, it was a huge deal,
Yeah.
right? That that
Mhm.
that happened. Like Cena, the guy who was like super kid friendly guy turning
Yeah.
heel should have been. It
A
shouldn't have been like,
moment.
oh, he's heel, and then 2 months later, yeah, we don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, it should have been a moment that, like, literally, like, shook the grounds of the
Yeah,
company. Yeah.
and now like his final match is coming up, and they're deciding his final match with like a tournament, and the winner just gets to be his final. It's not a feud. It's
Right.
nothing personal. There's no story behind it. It's just like this guy, whoever wins the tournament, he fights John Cena. That's it, right? Like, and that's their biggest name ever in the last, in a generation.
And it's gonna be something real stupid too, like The Undertaker is gonna come out of retirement and enter the tournament. Like, it's gonna be something dumb. It's not even gonna be something cool, like, there's some NXT rookie that you'd think he just
Right,
threw his name in the hat and he's gonna win. But no, it's gonna
right.
be something dumb like, "Oh, The
And there's not
Undertaker."
going to be a storyline that comes out of it other than I want to wrestle you, and I
Exactly.
will. So the reason I'm saying all this is not
Yeah, yeah.
just to bash WWE.
No, no,
It's to
no.
say if you're a veteran, at at some point are you going to look and go, wait, this is their biggest name in my lifetime,
Yeah.
and that's how they treated him. And the other company, you had a guy who didn't even work there for long, and they respected him that much to give him that sort of retirement.
Yeah.
Doesn't it make wrestlers think, oh, if I want respect at the end of my career when I've made my money and I've sold out shows and whatever, isn't this where I want to be?
Yeah. That's Dustin Rhodes says it the best. He's like, he's never felt. This is the first time in his career he's felt respected. Imagine
which
that.
which is insane.
Yeah,
How long has he been
literally.
wrestling? Like 40 years?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's insane.
And at one time he literally worked for his dad. So we're gonna throw that out there too. The old way is not good.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
like,
sorry. Go ahead.
so like, I mean, a couple things. The general thinking is that Jericho is probably going to go back to WWE, and good for him.
Mhm.
Like he should. I think he
Yeah,
should. I
I
honestly do.
agree.
It's
Get that
kind of
Hall of Fame.
his time's kind of run out in AEW. He's not
Yeah,
over. No one really wants to see him right now. He did a lot of great stuff. Like I'm not knocking his
totally.
accomplishments there or what he meant to the company, but he should go back to WWE. He should. He
Yeah,
should have like a big run where he gets to use his old Y2J stuff and do a whole thing and go to the Hall of Fame and
yeah,
be at WrestleMania. And then if he wants to come back to AEW for a Legends run or something, go ahead.
yeah. Or
Um,
even by the time he's done in WWE, if maybe AEW has a Hall of Fame by then.
right. And
You
he
know,
like he should definitely be in it if they have
100,
it.
he's a first world champion. You know, he has to be in it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
like just the respect that you can get in AEW, not just as a legend. If you're like, any wrestler and you
yeah,
hear that, like I'm sure it's better now than it used to be because it's not a crazy Vince McMahon running the company.
yeah,
So I'm sure that they probably have a bit more respect for you than they used to. But the respect that Tony Khan seems to give wrestlers who work for him is
yeah,
not common in wrestling.
yeah. And again, it's a shame that we have to say, "Oh, it's the year 2025," and a promoter respects his roster is absurd. But yeah, I
And I
agree.
mean, that's one of the things that comes out of we talk about 6 years of AEW. That's one of the things that
Yeah,
comes to mind.
yeah, I agree. That's a great point.
So I
Um,
didn't ask you this last week because you weren't here, but we all
sure.
talked about, a big, not just biggest moments, but when you think of 6 years of AEW, what do you think of? And what's that for you?
Um, well, it's weird. I thought I've been thinking about this. The very first Dynamite when Sammy came out. Uh, Obviously, you know who Cody was. Cody's already in the ring. He does his entrance, but like somebody whom I have never seen before, who comes out wearing a giant panda head, and I mean, there was some crowd reaction, but he's just living in the moment, and it's all new for everybody, him included. That was the coolest thing, and that still kind of gives me the chills every now and again. So that was the biggest moment, knowing that we were finally out of that tunnel of just having one company.
And I bet that he probably thought, at least at some point in his career, he was never going to be on a national TV wrestling show.
Right. Exactly.
He probably never, like, there was probably a time when he was like, he might have tried out for, I don't know if he ever tried out for WWE,
I think he had a tryout, I think.
but there was probably a time where he thought, oh, they're not going to hire me. So that's
Right.
it. Like, I'm just never like, that's fine. Like, I'll do other wrestling, but I'm never going to be on like a nationally televised live wrestling show. And
Yeah.
then he was.
Against Cody. Like, you know, and now you have to look at it that way too. Like a guy who just 3 years prior left the biggest company in the world to help
Right.
start this one, and and you're wrestling him like
And
someone.
is the son of like one of the most
Yeah,
respected wrestlers ever.
yeah, I was just gonna say someone that Sammy like literally grew up watching. Like it
Yeah.
is one of those moments.
Yeah.
That's a cool moment.
Yeah, for sure. And
Um
and there's been a bunch of those opportunities
oh,
over
since
the
then,
years now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, uh it was right before Athena and Billy Starks headlined the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Remember I sent you that Instagram where she dressed up as one of the Young Bucks,
Oh yeah.
and she went to like a meet and greet, but it was
Yeah.
only like it was like what 7 years ago, and
Yeah.
she was 12.
Yeah.
And now like look at her. Now she's on national TV almost, maybe not every week, but she's on
Regularly.
Collision
Yeah.
regular. Yeah. And, just 7 years ago, she was in middle school. That's absurd.
And that's another one where like no knock on her, obviously, because again, there's only so much space.
Yeah,
She might not have ever been here if it wasn't for the fact that AEW exists. Like just based
totally.
on numbers, right? Like there's only
Yeah,
so much time on TV. And yeah, Ring of Honor itself, probably wouldn't be here as a company. I mean, it's not an
Right.
independent company anymore, but if WWE if there was no AEW, WWE would have bought it. Like that's what would have happened.
Yeah, they would have
And
bought the
they
tape library.
and it would have got shut down and they would just own the video.
Yeah. That's so it makes me so mad that they sit on all that, and I get that I'm be the angry old man. I'm just getting on my soapbox right now, so I'm just warning y'all. I I hate that they own all that classic '70s wrestling footage, and it's nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, like if people complain about physical media, put them on Blu-ray. I'll buy
Yeah.
them. Like,
It's even worse now because when they had the network as its own thing, they would put basically everything
yeah,
on there,
yeah,
right? Like it was all on there. But now, even if you want to watch old WWF, like their own company, it's not on Netflix. Some of it's on Netflix, but
that's so dumb.
it's not all there. Like they choose. If you look at, they have Raw by the year, and you'll go to like 1998 Raw or something, and
Mhm.
there's like 10 episodes.
Oh, so it's not even like every week from that
No, they
year.
don't show
Oh,
all of
that's
them.
so
They
dumb.
just have some stuff.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
anyways,
the fact that they the fact that I get why they bought all of it when they bought all of it because they had their own network and they were
yeah,
sure, I get it. But then to go, oh, we're just not going to use it.
that's what I mean. Let someone else buy it. Seriously,
Yeah.
put them back up for sale. Or like, it doesn't even have to be like a private investor. Let Cody and Dustin buy their dad's WCCW
Right.
footage. Like that needs to be somewhere. Even
I'm
if
looking at it now. 2025 obviously is live, so they have all the episodes. 2024, they had 53 episodes. This is Raw.
okay,
53 episodes. 2023, 52 episodes, sure.
okay.
2022, 52 episodes, sure. Then they jumped to 2001. So there's nothing from 2002 to 2021. It's just
So
not
there's
there.
so there's like 19 years of
It doesn't exist.
that doesn't exist.
2001 has 5 episodes.
Oh, good.
2000 has 9. 99 has 16. 98 has 20. 97 has 17.
There's
96 has
just
13. Then
those
9, 4, and
random
7.
numbers.
They just pick. It's completely random. Like, at
Oh
least when
my
they had the
god.
network, you could go, I'm going to watch, this company from the 80s, and I'm
Yeah,
just going to watch all their stuff. You can't do that
yeah.
anymore. You just can't.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. So that
Anyway,
would be Ring of Honor. They would show like they don't even make documentaries anymore because I guess people don't watch them or they cost too much to make. I don't know. They used to make like cool like
yeah,
career documentaries about
which were
wrestlers
awesome. Yeah, those were
where they'd show
awesome.
their like whole career, and that was one of the advantages of them owning all this stuff was that
Yeah,
if they wanted to do a documentary on Hulk Hogan, they could include his WCW stuff, which they
yeah.
didn't have before, right? But now they can't. Now they just don't even make them. So
Oh,
too bad. Like,
oh my. Uh,
anyway, I don't want to just
any
bash WWE, but
no, yeah. Do you have any final thoughts here, my friend?
no, that's it. I'm happy AEW exists. It's
Same,
important that
same.
it's here. I do like how they're growing talent because the idea that the internet seems to have is that you have to have a performance center,
Yeah, I
just
agree.
like WWE has.
Yes.
And I mean, it works. I'm not saying that's not. I'm not saying that's a bad system, but it's not the only way to grow talent in a
I I
company.
I agree. I agree. Um, well, everybody, thank you. As I said earlier, I'm gonna be week to week here, because of my knee. Uh, so I appreciate you guys all listening and hanging out with us at Elite City Pod on all social media. Um, Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment and a thumbs up on the old YouTubes. Um, and we will see you. It's me and Rick are doing this on a different day, so whenever this comes out, it will be this week. But I don't want to say a day, so
Yeah,
you'll see it. Yeah, it'll be new when you listen to it this week.
there you go. And we hopefully will be back
The
before the pay per view to talk about the pay per
correct.
view.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you everybody, and until whenever, until next week. Later.